It's glad to be here. Hi, my name is Andres. I'm CEO and co-founder of Cerebrum Hub. Shortly about myself, for around last 10 years, I'm working in IT industry mainly. I was working in Estonian largest IT companies, working on quite large projects for the logistics, for e-governments, and education also. And around last 5 years, I'm more dealing with business. So right now I'm running two companies. One of them is developing software mainly for government organizations. And the second one is helping adults to restart their careers. So we do online courses and teach people how to enter the world of IT. And I'm here today basically to share with you my knowledge and expertise regarding what exactly you should do if you want to convert your idea into working or sometimes not working business, and learn from that, and then move forward and do that again, and again. And I will be doing that based on the Lean Startup methodology or framework, and just will try to share with you as practical as possible guidelines, what you need to do in case you have an idea and you want to do something with that idea to test, understand, is this idea worth working on, and so on and so on. Our webinar will be organized in this way that I will be interacting with you continuously via the chat. So I will be asking questions, try to answer as fast as possible. It is important because you are only learning. That's my paradigm, that you're only learning when you're doing. So the more you're doing, the more you're learning. The same here, the more you will be interacting with me and thinking together, the more really practical advice, practical insights you can get, and the better it will be for you and for your idea, for your startup. So I will now share my screen with you, and let's start talking about Lean Startup. So where I would like to start from. First of all, when we are talking about startup and whatever idea we have, whatever idea we are working on, the main thing what we are always having there is an uncertainty. So we never cannot be sure that the idea what we have is great idea, or that somebody is ready to pay for that. We don't know all the details, how to implement maybe this product or this solution, how to reach our customers. It's hard to choose between different possibilities. And very often we discover that something goes wrong. So we need to rebuild, we need to redo, we need to think all over. So the uncertainty is an essential part of every business, and it is especially important for startups who are just starting, so they do not have really any practical basis or experience to refer to. And this is okay. So this is a part of the formula. And the second aspect, what we need always to consider, is that in business, and especially in startups, we are always having limited resources. So our own time is limited, the budget, money is limited, and everything else what we could have is usually limited, what means that we cannot just do things at random. We need to have some pattern, some way how to be efficient, so that in the beginning, when we are just on the idea stage, we are not wasting all our energy and money and just end with nothing, but we use this energy, this time and money wisely to ensure that what we are thinking about is really valuable, and to decrease uncertainty. And we can decrease uncertainty only by increasing the understanding, our own understanding about the market, about customer, about our specific niche of business. So basically, we can only increase and decrease uncertainty by doing, by really searching, looking, talking to customers, executing, and learning from that. Now, the Lean Startup comes in exactly because we have those things like uncertainty and limited resources. And Lean Startup, the book initially is written by Eric Ries, if I remember correctly, basically is offering us the way how to act so that we will use our resources in a more wise way, and so that we will not only develop some kind of business, but we will do that efficiently. So basically, the lean startup idea is built around the learning curve. What means that any idea what you have is great, but it doesn't mean that it is a great business. I will tell more, 99% of ideas will not be a great business. Still, those are very nice ideas. And to build a great company, a great startup, and a great business, you usually need a lot of different ideas. Because first of all, you are always limited in your knowledge, and you're always limited on resources. And secondly, the world is continuously changing. So what is true today may not be true in 6 months or in 1 year. What means that we need somehow to be able to efficiently test our ideas, and based on this testing, to do changes to build something. And then when we have built something, to show that to our customers and measure. By measuring, we mean gaining feedback regarding, is it something what our customers want? Is it something our customers are ready to buy and pay for? Do they like this kind of product and service? So by measuring and getting feedback, we obtain data. This data can be quantitative, qualitative, and then what is important, we learn. So startup and the lean methodology is all about learning and improving you and your idea and your business based on what you have learned. So once again, you have an idea, that's great. The first step you need to do is to understand more. Is this idea worth to build a business around it or not? And the only way you can do that is by, doing something, building something, doing something small, what you can show to your potential customer or the real customer, and then measure to understand, do they like, are they ready to pay, learn, improve your idea, change your idea, and repeat the cycle. And repeat the cycle again and again and again until you have decreased the uncertainty. So until you're true that this is what you're working at the moment is really valuable, customers are ready to pay, and so on. Now, my presentation after that, I will be talking only about part of how to ensure that your initial idea is something worth working. And I will be focusing on this part because this is extremely important when you're just starting, when you have only idea or you have 0 customers. This is where you need to start from to efficiently use your time and your resources. So what is the lean startup recipe? How you can decrease uncertainty? What kind of steps you can undertake? The first very initial step is that you need to understand your customer. Many people tend to think that the idea is the most important part of the product. But in reality, the most important part of every business and product is understanding of whom we are serving and what they need at the moment and what they are ready to pay for. And the idea, by idea, we mean some kind of a solution, so product, service, whatever else. It is already a solution for a specific need of our customer. So the more we know about our customers, the more we are interested in our customers, and the more time we are ready to spend for researching, understanding our customers, the better business you can build. So the first step, understand who is your customer and as much as possible details and information about your customer. Secondly, translate your idea into hypothesis and test it. So you have an idea, for example, that if I open a bakery on this street, everybody will visit it every morning and, buy everything I will produce. Cool. So the first step, you understand your customers. Who will be those people who will every morning drive toward the street and visiting your bakery? And then you build this hypothesis and you think how I can test that. How I can test that without renting a space, hiring employees, and doing everything, are there any possibilities to ensure that it will really work? And basically, it is also important that when you do that, you use some methodics, you collect some data to use a validated learning that will be a basis for the customer interest. So in my assumption, let's assume that we want to build a bakery, but we are not doing that. We just take the poster and write fresh buns every morning. And then we just stay with this poster on the streets for a week and just see how many people are interested. They go to us and they say, hello, and I'm interested, what is this about? And you write down the numbers to Excel, how many people there were going through the street, how many of them provided some kind of an interest, and based on that, you get some data. And after you did that and you see that there is enough interest, there are people who are interested, there are people who want to buy something from you, then you start building something. So then you really start working on your idea from a perspective of execution. You buy stuff, you write codes, whatever you do to build your product and service, you do that after you validate it. So after you did the first cycle of learning. And the first cycle of learning, in my case, what I built was the poster. So I built a poster. That was my initial product. What I presented to the world, and then I already gain an initial data to understand, is this idea working or not? Then I can do a next cycle. So maybe I don't know, take this small bicycle with the table and put some buns on it, very cheap and affordable, and try to sell in this way and see how it's going again and again and again. So I try to spend as much resources as possible and move as quickly as I can to collect feedback and iterate. Now, the lean startup methodology introduces us such important thing as a minimal viable product, MVP. What basically means that we can build a small version, minimalistic version of our product, what we will be able already to provide to the customer and what customer will pay for. And in theory, it's possible in every business to define an MVP. So to define the very small steps I can do what are already enough to get customer attention or get customers' money. And this is important because for many people, it's really hard to start with their business. So you have an idea, you maybe have an even pretty well understanding of some specific niche because maybe you are a customer by yourself, but it's really hard to start because it seems that I need to do a lot of things need to be done. And the concept of MVP provides us a possibility to think in a different direction and, think what are, for example, the 3 most essential things I need to do to already provide some kind of a product or a service to my customer. And almost every time it is possible to find an MVP. So there is a nice book, what you can read, it's named Sprint. And it's written by a Google team, and it's describing how Google Ventures were helping startups to build an MVP always in 1 week. So there is a specific methodology how you can build a prototype of your startup an MVP of your startup in 1 week. Doesn't matter, is it like, robotics or bakery or AI, you can always find some way to do something simplistic and roll out, show that to customers and collect their attention and even collect some money. Now, by following this thought, I would like to introduce you the value proposition canvas, because I think this is a very good tool what you can practically use to write your idea down and to build a strong basis or hypothesis of your potential business. And my key points here is that you always need to test your hypothesis before writing code. So many people tend to think that it is much simpler to, for some unclear reason, that it is much simpler to write codes or work on something rather than just go and talk with people. I don't know why it seems to be so complicated. In reality, it's not complicated at all. Believe me, in my life, I already tried to execute around 10 different businesses, and every time, majority of ideas failed at the point when we were talking with potential customers and explaining our ideas, and then they told, guys, that's cool, but you know, this, that, and that, and okay, nice. Now we know more. So the value proposition canvas gives you a nice way of thinking what kind of pains and what kind of pains you are going to solve for your customer, what your customer may gain through your solution, and in this way to understand your customer a little bit better. So you always start with understanding of your customer, and then understanding what kind of value you are going to provide to this potential customer. So the value proposition canvas gives us 6 key elements. The first important element is what kind of pains we're going to solve. So what is there so painful for my customer that he or she will be ready to act and buy my product or service? Secondly, customer jobs. So what my customers want to get done, what kind of things they want to achieve, what they're doing right now. And gains, what things they will gain if they now will start using my solution. And those are not only things that are solving pains, those may be some new opportunities. Example, let's imagine that we are building the SaaS service, helping construction companies to manage their construction projects more efficiently. So saving time, because you probably all know construction projects always go over time and over budget. That's the reality, unfortunately. So let's imagine that the pain of the construction company is that all the projects are over time and over budget. And you built an amazing solution. I don't know how, but you build it. And now you can ensure that this pain will be solved. So by using your software, construction company will now have every project finished on time and on budget. And this is this is the pain reliever. So this is a way how you remove obstacle. What kind of gains may be there? And the gain is, it's not quite obvious, but see, if every project will be on time and on budget, the construction company will be able to start more projects, because now they will have free time and free resources to take even more projects on top and even more grow their business. So by building your software, you're not only helping them to finish their existing projects on time, but you also help them to take more projects and grow the company even bigger. So gains are not always directly related to pains. They also open new opportunities for your customers. So guys, basically, if you have an idea and if you would like to start, the first thing I suggest you to do, you take the canvas, you write down clearly who is your customer. For example, in my case, the example is the construction company. And then you take this canvas and you start mapping what are the pains, what are the gains, what are the customer jobs. And if you don't know, you need to go and observe. You need to go and research. Talk with your potential customers, see what they're doing and how they're doing, and learn. Learn about your customers first, and then you will be able to test your idea. And then you will be really able to ensure that your idea is something worth working on, so that you reduce the probability that you will just lose your own time and energy. Now, guys, let's now do a short practical section. I hope that you're open for cooperating with me through the chat. I would like just to put some ideas all together to the Mira board for the idea what I have prepared for you. And this is the random idea named GamifyMe. So let's imagine that we have universities, and in those universities there are programming classes, and their programming classes are extremely boring. Nobody likes them, nobody understands, the classical programming classes. So we have an idea that let's improve that. Let's build a SaaS learning gamification solution. And this gamification will introduce, learning path and badges and some kind of skill trees. Now our classes will be more immersive. People will like, the satisfaction of learners will increase. So it seems to be like a cool idea. Now let's imagine that we would like to test this idea. So we have this idea, we have the understanding of the pain, and we would like to go and test it. And to do that, we start building a mirror board. So based on the value proposition canvas, to understand better who is our customer and what kind of pains, customer jobs, gains we really would like to address. So guys, I will now introduce shortly, that's the Miro canvas of the value proposition canvas in Miro. It's very similar to what I shown you before. And this is something what you can later take and use as a template. So I will be changing this part example, and then we have an empty template what you can just copy for yourself later and start working on. Now, I will be asking from your side time to time ideas about specific parts of the canvas. But let's first of all start from the customer. Here is the customer part, and I added and split my customer in three subcategories. So I see that when we are talking about customer, there will be a user of my solution. So if we are talking about my gamification solution, the real user will be a lecturer of programming classes and student of programming classes. So those people will really use my solution. But those people are probably not the same people who will buy my solution. So the person who will be buying my solution is the director of the whatever programming department in the university. So this is a decision maker, a person who is caring about the efficiency of learning, about satisfaction of students, and who has budget, who is able to buy, and then already implement that for all lecturers in all classes and so on. And then the third important part, what we have here, is the influencers. So influencers are those people or groups of people who are influencing my decision maker. So clearly, the university board is influencing the director of the department because they built a strategy and they define some goals for the year, what exactly we would like to increase satisfaction, and so on. And as you also may understand, there may be more influencers than just university boards. The influencers may be colleagues, there may be some collaborations between universities where my director of department is visiting and so on. So there are more influencers who are influencing, so translating different thoughts. Why this is important to understand? This is important to understand that if I would like to sell my gamification solution, I need to sell that to the director of the department. At the same time, at least lecturers need to agree that it is a great solution, because if they will tell that it is a bullshit, sorry for my French, then probably the director of the department will not buy it. So to sell, I also need to sell that to lecturers and explain them why it's amazing, why it's easy to use, will take less time and so on. And maybe I even need to sell that to students so that they will want to use my solution and will influence lecturers and director of the department. Also, what will help me if I will sell my solution to the university board. In this case, university board will be influencing director of the department and be more open to follow his idea or to support him in this new initiative. So this understanding kind of opens eye with whom we need to cooperate. Now, when we understand our customer better, and we understand that there usually are not one person, but several people with whom we will need to work, we can now start exploring pains gains, and customer jobs. Now, guys, the first question to you: what do you think are the pains of our customer if we are talking about our gamification idea? We would like to improve programming classes, but what pains there are? Why we need to improve programming classes at all? Please think for a minute and just share your ideas with me in the chat, and I will be adding your ideas to the board. Okay, the nice proposal in the chat that students are not happy with the way, so students are not happy with the way what is today, what means that low student satisfaction, yes? Low students. Maybe some complaints, maybe drop off, yeah, as a result of that, and so on. Okay, that's one pain. Second, support learning, maybe. But why it's pain? Like, why it's painful to support learning? For me, it feels like, okay. So can you elaborate a little bit? What exactly do you mean, support learning? The same about quality of work. What is the pain?
Yes, because learning via activity, it's support to acquire new knowledge. So because just to listen the lectures, and this is something very passive way to study. So that's why like this gamification can support learning.
Absolutely. But it more seems to be like a gain, yeah? So if we use gamification, then we gain better the learning rate. So people learn more and better. People learn more and better at the same amount of time. Okay, yes. Cool. Great. So there was a nice proposal that lecturers complain. So lecturers may also complain because students are not happy, then lecturers are not happy, nobody's happy. So they also complain, and they maybe even want more salary because the classes are kind of stressful. Low student motivation, yes, absolutely. So low student motivation is a pain. Okay, great. Any other ideas? As far as you're thinking, I will comment that when you are thinking about B2B solutions, it's always important to think what are the important metrics for your decision maker. So your decision maker is maybe caring about specific things like budget or the drop-off rate. So how many students are dropping off, or what is maybe they have some feedback rates or the satisfaction rate, what they're collecting, and he's caring or she is caring that it is high enough, and so on. And if you, through your pain, can somehow address those things, then they become much more relevant for the person. So, for example, low students' motivation, what does that mean? It means that they may complain publicly, yes, like write in Facebook or somewhere else, negative comments about the university. And as a result, they will have more less new learners next year, for example. It may also mean higher drop-off rate, what means less money for university as a result from the government budget or from the pocket of learners. So pains are quite obvious, yes? Yes, professor is getting bad feedback from students, what results into the low satisfaction of professor. Yes, absolutely. Position of the school among other schools. Absolutely. Great. Cool. I think that's very worthy things to work with. yes, position, the mark-on position of the university is similar to this one. I will just add it here. Cool, great. So we have some panes here. Let's now think what our customer wants to achieve. So what's our customer, in this case, director of the department, what are his jobs? What he is doing or she is doing right now, and what is somehow connected to my gamification solution. So I will make some examples here that, for example, my director of the department could be trying to decrease the drop-off rate. So one of the goals is to keep the drop-off rate is, less than 30%. And he's working, trying to take different steps, different actions to achieve this result. So trying to keep drop-off rate low. And we don't know exactly, but if we will learn more about our customer, we maybe we'll see that he's doing that by, talking with lecturers 2 times per month and trying to increase their satisfaction, and then doing some other things too. So what do you think? What could our director of department do that is related with our gamification solution somehow? Absolutely. Ensures high quality learning. Absolutely. That's an important metric. Ensures high quality working conditions for teachers. Absolutely. Keeping image and position of university. Good, very good. Absolutely. You have amazing ideas, guys. The only thing, we do not have enough time right now, but for every this thing, we also need to know how exactly, like trying to keep drop-off rate low by what exactly he's doing or she's doing. Ensures high quality working conditions for teachers. How? What exactly are the steps he or she is doing? Keeping reputation of university by what exactly? I don't know, visiting events, talking with people, ensuring that posts in Facebook are positive, whatever else. There are specific jobs, what the person is doing to achieve those goals. The better you understand those jobs, the better you see how your solution fits into reality of the person. Now, okay, let's think a little bit about gains. Let's imagine that a university is now using our gamification solution. Students are learning programming well, students are satisfied, all those pains are now solved. Lecturers are not complaining, at least about this, what they were complaining before. Students are motivated. What new gains our gamification solution opens for the university, for the lecturers, and for the director of departments? Any ideas? Okay, improved learning outcomes, absolutely. One idea from my side is that imagine that everybody is so motivated, we can now take more students. And the lecturers can now do more lectures because they're so motivated. Everything is fun. So we can increase efficiency of our university because everybody is motivated. And we can maybe even introduce new classes because the learning process is now more efficient. So maybe our gamification solution helps learners to do more independently. We use less lectures time, and then we introduce new classes, and the lecturers teach new topics, so new possibilities. Yes, absolutely. Better satisfaction helps us to hire more teachers because of higher satisfaction of our students and our existing teachers. Yep, increase efficiency. Okay, now, as you may understand, even by spending 10 around or 15 minutes on thinking about that, we understand our customer much better. And what not only we understand much better, now we can design for our customer a value offer. So now we can think how exactly our solution helps lecturers to complain less, how exactly our solution increases low students' satisfaction, how exactly professors now are going to get better feedback from the students. And you can put that under gain creators, pain relievers, and then you define your product and service. Why it is important? It is important that now when you will be talking with your potential customer, you will not be talking like, hey guys, I have an idea, we can gamify everything, the programming classes will be now so fun. Now you will be able to go to your potential customer and tell, hey, I know the way how we can increase the satisfaction of students, ensure that lecturers will be more motivated to do programming classes, ensure that the position of university among other universities will be much better. We can also help to increase the efficiency so that you can hire better new employees, you have better learning outcomes. And my solution to achieve that is that the SaaS solution to improve programming classes, which makes learning process much more interactive and fun. And as a result, and then you show exactly how your solution tackles those problems and those achievements, what you mentioned before. And in this way, first of all, you will be getting much more attention from your potential customer. And secondly, you will be really able to, through gaining this attention from your customer, to gain a feedback. And feedback is what you need to learn and to understand, is your idea worth to working on. So guys, summary from my side regarding the lean startup. The rule number one, what you do is you understand who is your customer and spend really a lot of time into researching, talking, watching what people are doing and understanding how they're living. Then you convert your idea into hypothesis. You understand that this is just an idea. If this idea will not work, it doesn't mean that you will not have a new idea. You will have, because you will have more knowledge. So you make a hypothesis, and then you think, what is the simplest thing you can do to already measure, is your idea working? Is it solving some real problem or not? And gain the feedback, so to learn. And then you iterate with your idea, learn every time, if necessary, change your idea. If not necessary, then expand your idea, add more and more and more, until you have a product or service that everybody likes and that everybody is ready to pay for. That's important. That's it from my side. Thank you, guys. If you